All right, today we're going to talk about a little problem with turbo RZRs. I would say, I guess all of them 16 and 19 model as of today's date. So we'll talk about the issue and hopefully what we'll consider a fix for it. If you've watched any of our videos before, we've talked about over travel on clutches. When you have over travel, basically what that means is, and this is a turbo secondary clutch, and FYI, when you're taking one apart, mark it. I got a mark on the back and a mark on the front. But anyway, so on the back half, and I'll switch angles up to the overhead camera, but right in this area there is a radius. Now, of course, you'll never probably see it in a million years on camera, but the flat portion of the belt comes down, and yes, it can skip over, but if it travels too far, it can hit this radius. All right, so what that does is it puts the bottom of the belt where the teeth are, puts the bottom of the belt, and it'll kind of push it over because it's in that radius, and it creates heat. And people say, I do not know why I keep blowing belts on my RZR. It's a bone stock one, or have nothing. It's relatively new, but every time I go high speed, I'm having problems. So we tell you to check over travel. So in the video, near the end, there's going to be a little screen over here to our over travel test, and so when you get done watching this, click on that, and then you can get to see how to actually do an over travel test on a vehicle. Okay, so I will tell you this, is you go, well, why would there be a brand new vehicle and blah blah blah? Well, the thing about it is that you could have a belt a little on the narrow wide side. You could have a primary clutch that opens up a little bit too much, or a secondary that opens up a little too much, or a combination of all the above. Well, the thing about it is Polaris is trying to extract every bit of the performance out of these vehicles and the most top speed, and so they want that belt travel as far down in this secondary as possible to achieve that. One other thing I forgot to mention, you can also, on those aluminum clutch covers, the back half of it that bolts to the engine and transmission, you can have one of them slightly off. So there is the recipe for an issue with over travel. So basically what we're going to do is we came up with this new washer. Polaris calls theirs and their clutch a speed limiting spacer. I wish they'd call it something else, because people, and not just consumers, but other clutch companies think you can take it out and achieve higher top speeds. Well, you can, but at the expense of a belt. You go, well, I pull mine out and I'm having trouble. Okay, sir, that's all right, but again, belt differences, clutch differences, spacing difference. Everybody's just not the same, and that's something you will start hearing me say more of in our videos. Just because you got away with it don't mean your buddy will, or vice versa. And it's never just the same. These things are not consistent. No clutch, no vehicle, no belt, no nothing has that big of a pattern always. And so therefore, when we find out some of these things, we make these videos. Okay, so that's enough of that. And again, make sure you watch the little over travel video that'll be in this area. Okay. Now, I do not have a clutch on a RZR, so I'm just going to show you how to do it here, and we're going to switch camera angles here in a sec. So you do not have to have. That's loud. You do not have to have one of Hunterworks spring compressors do it. It just makes it easy. We're inside this controlled environment, and it just makes it easy. So you put your clutch in here and use the tool here and run it down. All right, now these screws, interestingly enough, I thought they were 3/8. My memory was bad. They're actually 10 millimeter. Again, you can do this right on the vehicle. You can take these off right on the vehicle. You certainly need to mark them. My clutch is marked so that I know where to do it. Actually, just for demonstration purposes, we'll mark it so that we'll know where to go back together with it. All right, now then, I got one more screw. You heard it drop down. Of course, on a vehicle it wouldn't, because the belt would be holding it up. All right, a couple things right here. Make sure your speed limiting spacer is there. It is not necessarily a speed limiting spacer. It is a belt travel spacer. If you bought a clutch kit that they told you to remove it, put it back. If yours does not have one, Polaris might have forgot it if it's a new vehicle, which they do sometimes, or if you bought it used and somebody removed it because they could go faster, get you one and put it back. Also at this point, and I'll go to the overhead camera, realize that there is a step here, and the clutch or vehicle I had tested in here a few weeks ago, Polaris put it in upside down. So the lip goes down so that it goes inside the spring, such as that. Okay, so make sure that's in the right direction. Take the Hunterworks washer, which is this roughly 40 thousandths of an inch, the same diameter as this one, and put it on. Now it can move around, as you can see in overhead view, so you want to get it centered. And if you're doing it on the vehicle where it just falls down, it may be a little challenge, but anyway, so let's get our cover to go back and our compressor. I'm going to, there it goes. See, mine was in the way a little bit. Get it to go down. All right, the way this speed limiting spacer, God, I hate calling it that, works is, and I don't think in either view, certainly can't get it in the head view and the over one's looking down, but in between your cover and this spider, as you speed up, then this clutch moves down just like we're kind of compressing it, and so what happens is the cover basically hits the spider, but it touches right there on that, so that is limiting the travel. So when it comes in and touches our washer and their washer, and it sandwiches between the spider and the cover, that's it. So that's all you got. All right. Now, if you want to put blue Loctite on these, you can. If you're the torquing kind of person and you just got to torque it, well, you can. I don't even know the torque specs because I am not a torquer on clutches. Seems like more people get in trouble torquing than just using this and a little finger control. Just go in a cross pattern. Okay, that's really it. Of course, like I said, if you pulled it off to do it and using a compressor, this would be the method. Ooh, and if you did it on a vehicle, you'd basically be done. The center bolt on the turbo would not have to be removed to put it in because it recesses down inside your spider nut. Now, I'll turn it up on edge. There's probably no way you can see this in overhead view, but it's sitting there right on top. And then, like I said, if we demonstrate, just kind of picture as you speed up this, with this in between, touching right down in here. And then when it comes in, that's it. That stops the belt travel at the top. And hopefully, unless you have this severe issue, then it stops the belt travel before it gets down into the radius here and deforms your belt on that side and brings that temperature up. People who do high speeds for longer periods of time are the people affected. Or use low and high RPM for long periods of time. Or, and when I say high speed, I mean these clutches fully shift out around 60 or so miles an hour on a turbo. So if you were going to drive 5 miles, you know, at 60 or above, you know, this is something that and you're having problems, and then this is something you certainly need to check out. So hopefully we didn't overcomplicate a video on just adding a little washer to the primary, but like I said, we always like to try to help people to understand particular issues and give you a simple solution to it. Remember, we do make our own belts. The turbo belt, today's date is May something, I don't even know, May 3rd or 4th. The point is, we made a little change in our turbo belts in the last couple of months. Made a little small one back in October as well. None of them were reliability issues. They were just stuff that we figured out about the vehicle that we wanted to make change to overcome. Super successful. And just in the month of April, we sold 1,228 belts. Turbo has been very reliable overall. One of our videos, I used the wrong word and I said does not work with a particular clutch kit. That was really wrong terminology. It works with any of them. If yours doesn't work with our belt, it's not necessarily the belt, it's what you got going on. But what I meant to say was there was a particular kit that's actually pretty popular that we just see blowing a lot of belts. And we've had to, if it has that kit, and I don't want to name it on videos and so forth, if you email me, I'll tell you, and I don't want to start a big stink. It's just, see a high number of something, you just have to go, whoa, hold up just a minute, there's an issue there. So anyway, works with any and all. We got our belts. If you need anything, probably better shoot me an email, because getting us on the phone is tough. Thank you for your time.